name's Don Hart. I'm the Vice President of Training and Development at IDC Win. On January 28th, Jordan Lee, Vice President of Regional Sales from BMO, introduced us to and walked through a webinar on how to use social media in developing contacts for your business. BMO's also developed these two booklets, Become a Social Advisor and the Social Advisor's Guide to Business Building on LinkedIn. If you'd like to get a copy of those booklets, please contact your local BDE with IDC Win or contact your BMO representative local to you as well. We'll send out a list of those names in a couple of days on the webinar as we've taped it for you to re-watch if you missed it. Also sit down if you have the opportunity with your business development executive at IDC Win and let them show you how to set yourself up on LinkedIn and start getting connected.
Thanks very much, Don, and thanks to everybody for inviting me to speak with you guys today. And today I'm going to talk to you about how we can make the most out of LinkedIn. So why the focus on LinkedIn? We recognize the power of social media to create meaningful connections that will help you build your business. And it's another tool in your arsenal to elevate your professional brand and distinguish your offering, more important than ever before in an environment where clients are assessing your value. Today, you'll learn all about the actions you need to take to maximize your presence on LinkedIn, how to create a compelling profile, casting a wider net while leveraging your connections, become a visible thought leader able to fully communicate your value, and some essential steps to help complement your offline efforts to grow your business. In addition to staying top of mind with clients, LinkedIn has become an effective prospecting tool for advisors and a way to reach and take strategic advantage of centers of influence. As the world's largest professional network, there are more than 10 million subscribers in Canada alone. And the rate of professionals signing up are more than 2 per second. And more important, 5 million high net worth investors use social media to help with their financial decisions, with 75% using LinkedIn as their preferred platform for investment research. When surveyed, 46% of those on social media do not have a financial advisor, although 52% said they would connect with one, creating a tremendous prospecting opportunity. If you're not on LinkedIn, I would encourage you to do so. And if you are on, then it's time to enhance your profile and use this tool to communicate your value, increase your visibility, target prospective clients, cross-promote your corporate website, position yourself as an expert, and build your business through a network of referrals. In short, LinkedIn is an efficient way to expand your network and develop connections with the goal of cultivating these relationships offline. And if you're new to LinkedIn, and this is what Don referred to at the outset, I'd encourage you to look at our step-by-step advisor guide to LinkedIn, featuring instructions and tips, a sample headline, sample summary, and other suggestions on how to complete a thoughtful, differentiated, client-facing profile. And so you're going to be able to reach out to your BMO Global Asset Management wholesaler to obtain a copy of this guide, and we'll get you all the information on who your wholesaler is. You can reach out to Laura to get that information. And we have two booklets, one more introductory and one with a more advanced look at LinkedIn. If you already have a LinkedIn profile, we encourage you to further enhance it to all-star status. Your profile is the first thing that'll show up when someone searches your name or an industry term on Google. So an optimized profile is essential to better engaging and targeting investors. First, make sure you complete your summary. This is arguably the most important part of your profile for those vetting you, and it's the first thing that'll show up in a Google search. It's essentially your elevator speech, the place to communicate your value. Protocol is to write it in the first person and integrate keywords like financial advisor, retirement planning, wealth management, etc., so you can be found. Second, use a close-up, professional, recent photo to create a first and lasting impression and convey professionalism in tandem with your summary. And I would encourage everyone to keep a professional photo We've all seen many of those photos where you have an individual, bad photo, on the dock at the cottage with a beer or something like that. Make sure that you're conveying that professionalism in your photo. Third, write a descriptive headline to communicate your brand and value add. Make it catchy but professional and include your industry for easy searches. For example, you might try something like an investment advisor dedicated to holistic wealth management of business owners and families in Oakville. Fourth, showcase your skills. If you're just setting up a profile, select all applicable skills and order them to feature what you would like to showcase. LinkedIn will automatically prompt others to endorse you for those skills. And finally, create what's called a vanity URL. Since LinkedIn will auto-generate something a little complicated, a vanity URL looks more professional, and you can include it in your email signature, business card, or professional website, and they can click on it to access your LinkedIn profile. As an aside, while making profile changes, LinkedIn will ask you if you want to broadcast them to your entire network. If the updates are small, like a new photo, don't share them with your entire network. Look for the pop-up window each time you make a change and determine if it's something that you want to broadcast to your entire network. This can also be managed in your privacy settings to turn off those updates when you make them to broadcast them to your network. Now that you're on LinkedIn, it's time to grow and strategically leverage your network through engagement. An increased engagement helps you lay the foundation for building out your connections. Essentially, the more visible you are in your network, the better. So, in LinkedIn speak, anyone you invite or who invites you to connect is called a first-degree connection. An efficient referral tool, LinkedIn allows you to see their entire network. If your connections are high net worth, chances their connections will be high net worth as well. So you'll want to start with the people closest to you. Search on LinkedIn and personally invite friends, family, and clients to connect. If you're looking to impress them, don't just click connect. As an extension of your business strategy, determine your targets. If your niche is local doctors, dentists, business owners, invite those you know so you get exposed to their networks. Remember, and this is key with LinkedIn, is that you can see the network of those you're connected to. It's important to include those who might facilitate client inductions on LinkedIn, but are not necessarily clients themselves, such as lawyers, accountants, tax specialists, or club members. They're considered circles of influence on LinkedIn, just as they are in your practice. You can connect directly with alumni, even if they're not in your network, an exception of sorts on LinkedIn. This will allow you to gain exposure to an educated, potentially affluent community with a commonality, which is key, with a commonality as an icebreaker. And remember to add a personal message here too. If you need a thought starter for that note, maybe compliment them on their job status and let them know where you are and what you're doing as well. LinkedIn lets you import your whole address book at once. But a note of caution here. If you select all, LinkedIn invites indiscriminately. So this may include people you don't want, past clients, those you want to disengage from, and competitors, so be careful with that. In this case, LinkedIn would also send a generic invitation if you did the whole address book at once. So for your top tier clients, this won't be a personalized experience. If you're going this route, a better approach would be to deselect and invite these contacts one by one with a note. If valued clients' contacts are not on LinkedIn, so they're not part of this service, LinkedIn will prompt you to ask them to join LinkedIn. If they connect, send them a personalized thank you, and if possible, include value-add content to position yourself well, like a meaningful article, meaningful video, meeting reminder, something along those lines. Now, something to keep in mind. Whenever appropriate, integrate your skills or niche expertise into personal messages to resonate with the recipient. For instance, you could tell doctors that you're helping other medical professionals with tax or estate planning or personal incorporation to help promote yourself and promote your brand. So now you've built out your network. It's time to interact and start to become more visible. It can be as simple as liking, intelligently commenting, or thoughtfully reposting an article that's of value to your network. When you do repost content, add a one-line introduction to showcase your value add and pique the interest of your connections. You can see here with this comment that Dave has made, great to see positive trends in Canada's scientific culture. That's his comment to personalize this article. If you read an article in an online magazine or news feed you think is worth reposting, look for a LinkedIn share icon, and it'll automatically bring the article into LinkedIn and let you add that customized headline so you can share it with your network. If you've never looked at LinkedIn Pulse, you're missing out. It's a news feed that allows you to collect what's of interest to you simply by following select influencers, channels, and publishers based on your interests, groups, and your network. In a sense, you become the curator of that content. It's a common source for reposts, since it's a central location for thought leadership, and even sharing this information creates value for your connections. Saves them time, lets you know what's on your radar screen. In Pulse, select Discover to add recommended reading to your feed and your news to see it in an aggregated format. So this is a great source of information, and you can join groups you have an interest in, which I will discuss further soon. You can also monitor your connections activity easily. Hover over the down arrow icon next to Send a Message to isolate status updates. And this is great because you can do this on the fly before a meeting or a call and be up to the minute on any changes, updates, or postings they make. For example, I have a meeting after this where I just scrolled over those updates for that particular individual and found out that just this January is his 31st anniversary in the business. A great lead-in point to start into the conversation when I arrive at that meeting. And you can just have that at your fingertips right before you head out to a meeting by scrolling over this monitor section. So next is a big subject to tackle, but let me give you a sneak peek of the benefit of LinkedIn groups. According to LinkedIn, participants in groups get 4 times the number of profile views. That alone is reason enough to participate. Groups allow you to interact with individuals who are not in your immediate network, because as soon as you join, you can access the entire membership. If you don't know where to start, join groups that reflect your book or your ideal demographic. For instance, look for hospitals, art galleries, charities, Rotary clubs, chambers of commerce, that type of thing. Once in a group, then you can like, comment, or repost to establish a presence, since all members in that group will see your engagement. If you want to position yourself as an expert, start a discussion on a subject you know well, be it RDSPs, estate planning, or pose a question based on a real-life situation that's engaging to others. And be strategic when you're looking for groups to join. See what your clients belong to. And if you're prospecting, look for organizations so you can take it offline. Many groups post events in addition to just information, and that information you can use to network in your community, to take it offline and have those face-to-face meetings. And while financial advisor-related groups are great for practice management, your clients and prospects won't be there. So think about what's of interest to your clients, where they live, or what they do. Now let's look at 3 strategies to easily leverage your connections for their contacts. Remember, when you connect with someone on LinkedIn, you're able to see all of their contacts. It's like a view into their Rolodex. The first step is to check the networks of those who are already most meaningful to your practice. Look for your target demographic, high net worth prospects, local individuals in circles of influence, and ask for an introduction with a personalized message. Step 2 is to run a basic search in the main nav bar for a professional in your area. For example, you could type in Chief Executive Officer in Niagara. And third, search companies where you already have a foothold. If you have a client at a hospital and you're connected on LinkedIn, search to see who's connected to that first-degree contact and ask for an introduction. It sounds basic, but these steps are often overlooked. Referrals on LinkedIn are even easier than referrals in your day-to-day practice because the entire nature of LinkedIn is that it's a professional networking vehicle and its main purpose is to build a network. Now you can augment this process using more stringent search parameters. You can go as granular as postal code, as specific as job title, or as targeted as an industry in what's called advanced people search. Use titles or designations to search for your ideal client. For example, executives, accountants, surgeons, CFO, CEO, owner, director, chairman. And be sure to focus on those second-degree connections. They're warm leads. Now remember, second-degree connections are people who are connected to people that you are first-degree connections with. So you have that commonality. And consider out-of-the-box thinking, such as nonprofit interests to find people with board service who may be potentially affluent. If you select Save Search, LinkedIn will reach out to you every week with possibilities. And find connections you have in common. Again, this is pointing at that second-degree connections. Those who can provide an introduction are visible in the Get Introduced tab. Not only is it good etiquette to ask for an introduction, it will also carry more weight, influence with your prospect. Always keep your message brief, clear, and offer to connect your referral source in return. You might also find it interesting that you can check out who's viewed your profile on the LinkedIn homepage. Since they're checking you out, you might want to reach out with an invitation to connect. Just remember, unless you have adjusted your privacy settings, they'll be able to see what you've looked at when you've looked at their profile. So be mindful not to make repeat visits. It takes some commitment, but the return on your investment of time on LinkedIn could be considerable. It might help you to create a checklist with some manageable goals or targets so you can enhance your profile and your brand gradually. A few likes, comments, or reposts each week go a long way to increasing your visibility. Be sure to connect with a few people weekly to grow your network exponentially. Continue to update your profile with anything that's relevant, post articles, pose questions, follow a new group, and keep track of your connections updates for opportunities to reach out, such as job transitions, promotions, moves, articles, postings, etc. Now, interesting to note that in light of Canada's new anti-spam legislation, or CASL, any messages sent from LinkedIn Mail are considered exempt. What's more, publishing a post on your profile is not affected by CASL, as it's the same as posting a billboard ad where, depending upon the privacy settings you've selected, it can be viewed publicly. At the same time, you need to apply the same rules as any other emails of a professional nature when you send them out. And also be sure to follow your company's social media policy and applicable regulations when using LinkedIn. Remember, the ultimate goal of business building on LinkedIn is taking your relationships offline. Monitor your groups for live events. You want to get out there and meet these people. Follow your network for engagement opportunities and invite connections to branch presentations. Now, how can we help? Well, this has been an overview. As we've mentioned before, we've created some handy and in-depth resources to help you take the necessary steps to elevating your personal and professional brand on LinkedIn. Our first guide, entitled Become a Social Advisor, which we talked about at the start, provides a practical approach to getting started or enhancing your current profile. So that's for those of you who maybe even aren't on LinkedIn. This is a great piece to help you build your profile, what resources you will need to build your profile to make it that all-star status. We also have part 2, the companion piece. The Social Advisor's Guide to Business Building on LinkedIn is a step-by-step approach to leveraging your existing network as well as prospects to grow your business and communicate your value and build your brand. You can also visit our advisor practice management website, which is bmogamadvisor.com, for many articles on various business building topics, including LinkedIn. LinkedIn, from our monthly Insights e-newsletter and other materials to support your professional development, are available on this BMOGAM Advisor site. And don't forget to click LinkedIn itself. It has a host of pages and tools that you can reference, including a blog and an application suite for your mobile devices. And of course, we encourage you to use your BMOGAM wholesaler as a resource for ideas and support to help you differentiate your practice online and become that social advisor.